morning, sixth graders. Welcome to the lesson 6. Today, this lesson is super simple. You're not going to make classwork, but it's necessary to read it. And we are going to discuss in the next meet. It's necessary to understand that maybe I'm going to include it in the list for the exam. The lesson 6, most than lesson, you're going to read it and you have to learn a little bit about horticulture. It's an important activity that you have to learn. Remember, in here I'm going to post the list of the classwork you already present, and you have to check if you're missing to present the things. If you're missing, you're going to check it. Okay, so let's go. Lesson 6. Talk about the wizard of horticulture. How does a person invent a plant? You might not have heard of horticulturist Luther Burbank. You're going to learn a little bit. You're going to read all of this. Take this time to read it. But you're probably familiar with some of his inventions. For example, as a matter of fact, if you have eaten fast food, French fries is one of the inventions that Luther Burbank did, right? There's a good chance they were made with the Rosette Burbank potato. Are you surprised to hear something like a potato called an invention? After all, potatoes are natural, not something humans beings created, right? Yes or no? This is the opinion. Potatoes do grow naturally, of course. However, when a fruit or vegetable or veggie has been bred to have certain characteristics, it can sometimes be considered an invention. This is a relatively recent development during Luther Burbank's life. He cultivated more than 800 varieties of plants. The U.S. government did not yet allow inventors to plant plants. It was not until the patent laws changed after his death that Burbank was aware patents of many of his creations. So he discovered the potato, right? And he patented the mark. Burbank first grew interest in plants during the times he spent in his mother's garden as a child. Talking about California, 1875. When he bought a small farm for himself, he quickly developed the Burbank potato. He sold the rights to the potato and moved to California in his Santa Rosa greenhouse. In the fields of his property, Burbank began experimenting by crossbreeding plants that had desirable characteristics. Then he grafted the seedlings onto the parents' plants. Bueno, in conclusion, Burbank creates a kind of potatoes, the Burbank potatoes, and the story of this invention may be a kind of species of potatoes. In conclusion, Burbank was not considered a serious scientist by many other scientists of his time. They believe that Burbank's goals was to create crops that were resistant to disease when he wants food to taste better and last longer too, even though many of his experiments involve edible plants. So, in conclusion, for him to keep track of so many plants in addition to taking detailed notes about his results, Burbank used photography as a scientific tool, and he had a studio on his farm, and he used the pictures to keep track of different varieties of plants. Okay, the potatoes and Burbank in the story of the veggies. It's important to learn about this lesson. The next meet, I'm going to assign to, is going to make a summary of the lesson. I'm thinking. Bueno, we are going to start with Valeria Lorena and Emily Triminio. you're going to make a summary and you're going to expose about the summary of this lesson in the Meet. Okay, you can use PowerPoint if you want to summary and explain about what is the topic in the Meet. Love you so much. Bye bye, potatoes. Eat potatoes. Bye.